If you want to continue to follow our adventure, click subscribe. So you don't miss anything, click the bell notification. Okay, so I've made a video on how to determine if you think you're going to like this lifestyle by making a list, actually 2 lists. So the list you would make would be, 1, you would identify all the things that you're going to miss from your current brick and stick lifestyle, and you'll give them a number rating. And then you're going to make a list of all the things you're going to do out here, and then you give it a number rating and you make a comparison. And I'll put a link to that video right here. The next video I made was the 30-day challenge. And in the 30-day challenge, I suggested that you try to live in a space as small as that you plan to live in out here on the road, a van, car, truck, whatever, tent. And then you would try to do that for 30 days with all the inconveniences of living out here. Going to the bathroom in a bucket, you know, showering in the cold, trying to figure out how you're going to get heat, no air conditioning, that kind of stuff. And I'll put a link to that video right here. Well, then the third video I made, I said how to minimize your lifestyle. Not only just so you can fit everything into that van, but more importantly, how to minimize the amount of money you're going to spend. Because once you do that, you really start to enjoy life. Well, now that you have learned how to stop spending money, the next step is how to pay off your debt and to get tens of thousands of dollars in emergency fund that I advocate repeatedly, almost seems like every video. Carolyn and I are debt free. Give you a little history on our debt. My debt, it was all my debt, was, you know, I was married to a woman, and quite frankly, she liked to spend money. She had a diamond ring on every finger. You know, we had to finance everything. Everything was on credit cards. We had 2 new vehicles. She had a bunch of guitars. And when she left, I was $50,000 in debt. And I was able to get all my debt paid off. And then after that, establish an emergency fund. So I want to talk to you about how to do that. Now, the emergency fund is not that difficult. Once you are debt free, you'll be able to save money just hand over fist. It's just that simple. Now, a lot of people tell me that the method I use is one that a famous radio talk show host uses. Now, I did not know anything about this famous talk show host prior to me paying off my debt. This was just something I did. So if I used his method, it was completely coincidental. I actually was in debt to the IRS. I think it was $800 I was in debt to the IRS, and I was having to pay interest and penalties on that also. So I called all the credit card companies, all my financiers, the IRS, and I asked them what my interest rate was on all of it. And so what I decided to do, and this is where I deviated from that famous talk show host, was I took the credit card that had the highest interest rate and I paid it off. And the way I did that was any money I had left over. Remember, I stopped spending. That is key. On the last video I talked about, to minimize your life, stop spending money. So every bit of money I had left over at the end of the month went towards that credit card. And within a couple months, I would say 3 or 4 months, it was paid for. And then you just keep taking that idea and you keep applying it to the next credit card. So now on the second credit card, I take all the money I have left over and I put it on the second credit card. Remember, you're actually going to be paying more onto the second credit card than you were the first credit card because the first credit card is paid off. So you have that extra money now to pay that one off. By the time I got to my lowest interest rate item, which was my truck, I had a 1 point some odd percent interest rate on that truck. But the thing is I owed $23,000 on that truck. So all the money I had saved from spending on all those credit cards, I could now apply to the truck. I got that truck paid off in 8 months. It was paid for. Brand new truck. It was brand new. It was only, I think, a year old when I had it paid off. I cannot tell you how freeing that is, knowing no matter what happens now, that truck is paid for. Now, what you do next is you just start taking all that leftover money and you put it into a savings account. Now, I know everybody's going to tell me you need high interest rate savings account, you need this, you need that, and you know what? It doesn't matter. Once you start learning how to save money, you don't need people paying you for that money. I have actually a fairly high interest rate savings account. It was actually the same bank that financed my truck. It's an online banking company, savings company. And I can't mention it because I don't want to get into copyright issues. But it's an online savings account. And you can get your money out anytime. It takes them 3 days to get it over to you. Now, the important thing to all this, you're debt-free, you have a huge emergency fund, but that's not the important thing. The important thing through this entire process is you have learned that you don't need things. You actually condition yourself that you don't need things. You don't need to go buy things. You don't need to go have fun. I think some of this buying stuff is an addiction. Because Carolyn and I just don't go and buy things. You know, we treated ourselves to an ice cream at the famous ice cream restaurant. And, you know, the ones they can turn the ice cream upside down in a cup. And both of us like, what? $10? Oh my goodness. I mean, that's how you feel about every dime you spend. It's like, wow. Wow, that's incredible. This is the best part that we've learned about all of this. Is that you don't have to spend money to be happy. When Carolyn and I are happy, it's a tough life. There's things that you know, we wish we had back in our old lifestyle, but that means spending money. And spending money is stressful. Spending money does not make you happy. Spending money, I think, is like an addiction. And once you're addicted to it, you feel like you're happier. But once you realize you don't have to spend money to be happy, you're just naturally happy. Naturally. Thanks for watching. Quick like if you like this video. Happy travels.